Oh, that was a quick cut from the music. What's up, everybody? Hello, how are you today? Good to see you all. This is the first stream from the US office, which is pretty cool. Hopefully, you guys can hear me all right. Seems like everything should be good to go. Oh man, yeah. So I've learned. I'm using a new program now. We've got all this new equipment. So it's been an interesting time to get things set up. So briefly, what I want to remind you guys about before we bring our special guest in is that Platinum is coming out in just a few days. So keep in mind that we'll have the embargo lifted rather for all of our bronze and above partners starting tomorrow. So if you want to see gameplay, we're leaving the gameplay to these guys. So go watch them on YouTube, Twitch, wherever they create content. Go watch your favorite Giants partners with early access if you want to see gameplay. What we're going to be showing you here in just a moment is more of an inside look at what Horia and Yevgeny and the rest of their team from our Swiss office and beyond have been able to achieve on Silverrun Forest. It's some really cool stuff. I think you guys will like it. But yes, of course, don't forget to go check out all the latest news. The latest one today, the collectibles and the point of interests in Silverrun Forest, but there's the complete list of machines on our website, the fact sheet collection, the garage trailer, the production chains and construction projects. There's so much stuff. It's wild. It's really cool, as a matter of fact. So don't forget that. You can still pre-order it via our website or your favorite stores, Steam, Microsoft Store on Xbox, or the PlayStation Store, as well as PC and Mac, and a couple of different places, of course. Okay, so enough of just me. We do have some special guests with us today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in our special...
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Kermit, we can't hear you, unfortunately.
There we go again. There I am.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Yes, say hello, everyone, to Horia. Horia, tell people your official title and what you do at Giants really quickly.
Hello, my name is Horia Sherban. I'm an associate producer at Giant Software, and I've been working at Giant Software for about 7 years.
Right, and you're in the
what I
Swiss
do
office, right?
exactly. Now I'm exactly in the Zurich office, and my job is basically to ensure a certain quality is being delivered throughout our products.
Okay, cool. And Yevgeny is a member of your team, correct? So you have a team that you basically check in with, see how they're doing things. So Yevgeny, tell us what you do at Giants, your official title and such.
Hi everyone, I'm Yevgeny Zaitsev. I'm a senior technical 3D artist, if it would be correct. So I'm actually, don't know, maybe I'm 8 years, 1 year more than you, Horia. Or 2, I don't know. It's, yeah, but approximately the same time in Giant Software. So, what I'm doing, if you see your harvester chopping or cutting the wheat, for example, this effect is what is done by me or something. Like whole system, it's not only effect, whole system, how it works on the hood. It's not only me, of course, it's the coders and it's different departments, but mainly, yes. It's some shaders, some effects, some automatization on art. It's kind of artistic work, but it's also there's a lot of technical implementations in it. So you need to know about how to make it right. So usually you got the task. Okay, I need this to be in a game, and you think how you implement it.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to show you guys some stuff that these guys have been working on. It's really cool. Horia and I first met. It's been a while now, like way back at GDC. What was that, March?
It's
Horia?
back in March, I think, yeah.
Yeah. So we met
My
for the
first time in
time.
US also.
Yeah, and so we had a conversation all the way back then. Of course, you were already working on Platinum then, and we had a discussion like about doing streams in the future. So now, fast forward, 8 months or so, and we're finally making it happen with Platinum on the horizon. So I think that that's pretty cool. And Hori, I think you're going to kick us off by showing some stuff on your screen, correct?
Yes, I will just share my screen a second. Just one small thing that I want to add about Evgeny. Maybe a lot of people knows about this. He was the creator of the Eastern European map, which Evgeny, maybe you can say its name.
It's a Sosnovka map. Yes.
Yeah, he's the creator. So he also did a lot of global design and 3D art in the past. And on my side also, from time to time, I'm doing a lot of 3D. So to kick this off, I want to give you guys a small introduction of how we actually start doing a map before actually doing any content. And I'll just quickly share the screen here. Okay. And basically, usually we receive the theme of the next map from the upper management. In our case, it will be a forestry map. And we start doing some research where in US, for example, forestry is being done. And for this map, we chose the the northwestern part of USA, mostly Washington area. And as you guys can see, we don't pick a certain area, we just try to pinpoint as many areas as we can in order to get as much material as we can for everything that we build in the map. And to show you guys a small example of how we use Google Earth to build the stuff, I'll just show you an intersection that we found here, and we thought it's pretty interesting. And we just gather as much pictures from here, and then we just build it in 3D and then throwing it in the editor. And as you guys can see here, this is almost the same intersection. Sorry for that. And we're trying to reproduce as much as possible from the real world inside our maps. But again, we don't pinpoint a certain area. And now to get a bit more into the detail, I will leave Evgeny to explain you guys a bit how we created some of the advanced content for this map and new content, and he will start explaining how we did the quicks for this map.
Okay, Kermit, can you run this video which I sent you? Okay, basically, idea was, can you please pause and make 1 second back, like when I was sculpting it, because it's, Kermit.
Maybe from the beginning.
About here, at the
okay.
very beginning, or?
Yeah, so that's the very beginning, yes. So basically, I just a couple of words. Basically, idea is it's a forest area, and in a forest, it's a hilly forest area. So in this hilly forest area, you usually obviously should have lakes and creeks and waterfalls. So, and how, using our terrain, we can achieve pretty decent result of the creeks. So my idea was, okay, maybe we can use some prefabricated pieces stuck together and achieve some pretty decent result. And this is a small video how I actually was designing it from the beginning, and after that, how, like, with a small kind of showing before-after example.
Okay.
So if you can start. So yeah, so this is prefabricated piece. You stack it after one to another, and you rotate it how you want it, align it, for example, and you I made a special mesh which you can align it terrain to this mesh with a special script, but you can actually do it manually. But yeah, it's a script in editor, and after that you kind of do your scene, and this is how it looks at the end. So, and like it's first initial prototypes. You see it's a gray texture with water in it, just one solid color. This is like a lake, how it might look. It's the same location, but it's changed a bit. So now you have grass, you have lakes. Yeah, the same location, how it was before, initial prototypes, and how it's ended up. So like you see the same at the beginning, and yeah. So and looks like this. Well, this system a bit tricky. You still need to place your pieces in a way so from the beginning. This is also nice. I really like this kind of combination with lake and water. But so this system is a bit tricky. So if you have your lake at the beginning of the on the top of the mountain and the bottom of the mountain, you want to connect them together. It's not so straightforward. You need to kind of dance around to connect these pieces together, but it's still doable. So you need to make sure elevation is correct. So you don't basically you need. If water is not going up, so you need to make sure it's constantly going down. So, but at the end it dropped. So, and
well, I have to say,
water,
if I could interrupt you, Yevgeny, like,
sure, yes.
I am, I'm a fan of Farming Simulator first before I was hired by Giants. And I know that for me as a player, like water visually for a while has kind of been the same. It's not necessarily that there's anything wrong with it, but it hasn't really had a leap forward in a while. And this is the first time that I'm seeing like the way that water flows, especially like we see right now on the screen, is really cool. So I think people are going to be excited about that.
Okay, I hope so, yes. Well, and about actually water flowing here, there is next video, which is called Waterfall Flow Map, which I prepared. Maybe we can start showing it. I can explain what it means. Oh, please, can you start it from the beginning? Because it looks like it's... okay, so can you pause it? So, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is kind of... You see these rocks over here, and water is actually trying to overtake it. So it's like flowing like in real life. So it's not just going straight, but it's actually going on this, based on this kind of some logic of the waterfall. And it's done by shader. If you start playing this video, can you please? Okay. So what it's doing, it's scanning the UV texture coordinate and scrolling the texture. But with scrolling the texture, it's actually it's not doing it correct. So what we need adjust our texture coordinates with a special texture which is showing how your flow need to go. And this is done with a special softwares which is kind of using this lines which I made in Blender, and it's it's actually a technique called flow map, and it bakes this data into the texture, which is red-green kind of stuff, and which is adjusting texture coordinate, and based on this adjustment, you kind of have this illusion, which is water is actually going in the same small rocks under the rocks and trying to avoid all of these elements. But at the end, it's really simple tech.
Just a small parenthesis here. Basically, the texture is saying the UVs in which direction to go, to flow, and what to avoid.
Yes, so it's kind of it's this kind of it's distorting them. So it's slightly now before they was all straight, but in a pixel of this, it's kind of trying to slightly distort them. If you
but it's not easy to explain it.
Yeah, it's not easy to explain, but it's simply said you can have these lines, and with some special techniques, you can generate this texture, which actually makes this happen. So, yeah, it's in simple terms.
That's really cool. Like for me, like I'm completely amazed and inspired like by the creativity of everyone at Giants, because this type of programming in 3D tech artistry I would never be able to do. But as a creative person in my own way, being more on the broadcasting side, I appreciate when people are able to do things artistically. And I think like I actually was having a conversation with my wife recently about that, about how not just video games, but music and like paintings and any type of art form, people forget at the end of the day that it is art and that people are kind of pouring their like talent and passion into it. So it's really cool to see like this perspective of what you've been able to achieve and our team has been able to achieve with this new map. I've seen some comments in chat already too, and we are going to address some questions as we go along. But
Okay.
Yevgeny, would you like to move on? Maybe I think that what's the next one? The waterfall.
Maybe I can give words for Horia and he can continue, and after that I can.
Okay.
Okay,
What do you prefer?
Yeah, whatever you guys would like to do. Horia, do you want to show something real quick? I can switch it
Yeah,
to.
sure. We can go back to some simpler stuff
Okay.
and just explain a bit further the infrastructure, the basically all the roads in the game, and what are the new things that we actually added for this map. 1 second to make it day again. So the new things would be the following. In order to add a bit more realism, we played a bit more with decals, and we tried to place as many decals as we can around the infrastructure. And maybe it's not that visible in the stream, but for example, these small rocks here, small pebbles actually, are actually part of a decal. And in order to add more detail on it, this decal changes with time. So what we did is basically add an autumn variation of this decal, and I will just accelerate time really fast so you guys can see that how this decals changes over time when it's autumn and when the leaves starts falling. So now we're in October, the leaves starts to get yellowish, and now you guys can see that they start to fall on the ground. And
Very
they're just
nice.
building up. And this is another shader that was made by Evgeny and me. And basically, it's the inverted version of the tree. From tree, the leaves disappears, and on the ground appears. And they're just building up and building up until all the leaves from the tree fell. And of course, during winter, the leaves will disappear from the ground. I hope it's not too fast. And then, of course, in the spring, the leaves will start growing again in the tree. Now, that being said, I'll just quickly go. Oops, it's March and it's snowing. I'll just go to the waterfall and let Evgeny explain further how he did these amazing things.
Yeah, well, it's okay. Well, not amazing.
Can I interrupt real quick, Horia?
Yes, sure.
There was a question in chat when you were showing that.
Yeah.
Let me switch this over real quick. So someone asked if the leaves were going to do that in the forest as well. If there's tree types in the forest that will drop leaves like that as you go through the seasons, or is that just specifically the tree you were showing us there in town? Oh, it looks like. Hold on 1 second, Horia, because you're muted on this. There we go.
Okay.
Now you can answer.
Okay, sorry. So basically now this effect has a lot of impact in the city area because it creates a lot of contrast on the streets, right? It's like tarmac, and then you have organic matter on top of it. But in the forest, we don't have this just yet, because in the forest you already have a lot of matter, dead leaves, and stuff like that, and the effect will not have a huge impact in here, from my point of view. But maybe in the future we can extend it to the forest area as well.
Okay, that makes sense to me, and
I hope
appreciate
this answers the question.
Yeah, I appreciate you answering it. I know that people are always keen to learn more about how things work within the game. So now, would you like to show the waterfalls? Go back to that, and we'll bring Yevgeny back.
Yes, Evgeny.
All right, cool.
Yeah, okay. Well, can we start from scratch this video again, please?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, because it's already... Okay, so, and can you pause, please?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Kermit. Basically, we had an idea, the same kind of idea. Can we use prefabricated bases for waterfalls? Because again, it's a mountain area, and on mountain area you have creeks, and you also have a waterfalls or some pieces. So, and we made the creeks with the prefabricated pieces, and so we decided, okay, maybe with waterfalls we can do the same. And this was my initial sketch how it can actually be. Really nice sketch. Okay, can you play video again, please? Okay, so this is like another location. I was imagining it. And okay, can you pause it, please? Okay, and I actually went in Switzerland and in some place which I do remember I've seen similar stuff, and I made a video with it and make a lot of photographs. So basically, this is can work for me. And if you play this video again, yeah. So I decided like I can make a 4-meter piece, 6-meter piece, and 10-meter piece, or something like this. So and I kind of pre-made them together. And like later on the video, it would be showing like before-after example, but now on the next slide, it would be showing like how you can actually stack them together. So if you play the video again, play it, please. Commit. Okay, this is like I made a quick sketch how you can actually stack them together. So and you can even adjust effect on a height where you want it. So okay, so that's how basically, and yeah, this was one of the initial placement ideas combined together, and how it looks at the end with all effects edit and the same. So you have like prefabricated pieces, other static meshes hiding when they kind of coming into the terrain. So you kind of naturally is transitioning from waterfall piece to. And again, so this is all of them stuck in the same place which I sketched before. Now they actually waterfalls and everything connected. And the same here. So yes, it's like waterfalls everywhere. And yeah, that's pretty, I would say, not bad system. So,
It's beautiful in my opinion, and we're seeing a lot of people saying that in chat that everything is looking pretty awesome. That the water especially is looking really cool. So yeah.
So I made it in a way so it's easy for modders to be used. So it's kind of open to others afterwards. And
in a modular way.
Yes, it's on a modular way. Okay, and looking on this effect, basically, this is water splash. It's another thing which I wanted to tell you and how it's actually made.
Okay. Oh, the water splash. Okay, let's do that.
Yes, maybe we can switch into water splash. Can you start the video from scratch, please, again, because it's plays. Yes. So okay, this is effect when it's actually done with mesh like this, and on top of this mesh is actually played some texture with video on it, but video is kind of frames from the video. So if you play the video again,
okay,
Kermit, yeah. So it's a kind of it's called sub UV, but it's kind of plays these frames on this texture. So and what I did, I went into Switzerland again in the wild with my camera. And I kind of captured the video, and I took 64 frames from this video. I made them cycle, so beginning of the end of the video continues into the beginning of the video, and after that, with some compositing software, this software is actually free, by the way. If somebody want to use it, you can actually do some tricky stuff to combine like masks, alpha, control the contrasts and everything, and after that, you ended up with some kind of texture. Like this, and if you play it, you have your animation. So yes, and another like we have like two meshes. If you play them the same animation together, you would have like the same video playing it. So in a shader, what I do, I offset the frames. So one is playing a different frame compared to another one, and because of this, you don't see them playing identical animation basically. So it's like
it's a trick to avoid the repetition, basically.
Yeah, it's a repetition. So if you don't do it, like you will see all of the same playing like identical animation, basically. And also, it's a kind of what I was trying to achieve. This kind of splashes itself. They're trying to follow how it actually splashes the water and fall down on real life. So I was like looking a lot of videos, and it's why it's like slightly deformed in a way. And the shader also has vertex animation, so your vertices actually moves a bit, so it flies, so it has a feeling, so it's not only just static, but yeah, it's kind of so. And also this scrolling effect, I didn't show it. I don't have another specific video for it, but like for scrolling effect, it's pretty simple. It's just UV, like in another one. Yeah, it's just simple UV scroll with different speed.
Okay.
So
I like
yeah.
people that are like me in chat are like I don't fully understand this, but it's awesome to see anyways. You guys amaze me with your knowledge of this stuff. But yeah, to be honest, I feel the same way as some of the people in chat right now. We have a combination, of course, of people in chat who create maps and other types of mods for Farming Simulator, and then those who are like content creators or just fans of playing the game. So there's always like a wide range of people to reach. But actually, that's something that we want to hear from you guys at some point towards the end of the stream. Horia and I have been talking about streams for a while now, and Horia has ideas for more streams in the future. But we want to know, like, we want to do streams right, because we don't want to get, like, if it's a really deep technical dive, of course, then that's only going to be for specifically like maybe the map makers or modders. But maybe we can start to put out potentially in the future more YouTube videos on the Farming Simulator Community Corner, and instead of a live stream, have like a session that kind of deep dives into maybe more of the technical side of things. So there's a lot more that we can do in the future, right, Horia?
Yes, of course, definitely. And the feedback from the public will mean a lot to us. Like what people want to see, if they have questions, if the modders have more questions, if they want some special format, if they want special sessions about a specific problem they encountered whatsoever. But yes, I totally agree. And yeah, we're expecting further feedback, because this is basically the first kind of dev live talk.
Right.
We haven't scripted anything, actually. We just go with the flow.
Right. The
And,
only thing we scripted was the
yeah.
videos that you guys wanted to
Yes.
show, basically. And that was about it. So there's definitely more we can talk about in the future. Can we rewind really quick before we show anything else? Because chat kind of blew up a little bit when Yevgeny mentioned that these assets would be available to modders, and of course me on the community side of things. This is a question I've been getting since really the first time we showed off Silverrun, and we anticipated this question, like, okay, all of this new tech is cool. We'll even probably hopefully talk about some more tech before the stream is up. Like, we haven't even mentioned yet things like the way that the trees are generated for Silverrun Forest, for example, the different tree types, and so many things like that that modders see existing in Silverrun, and wanting to know, of course, as usual, if they can get their hands on that and when. Horia, I don't know if you've gotten any updated information.
I don't have a clear answer, but with certainty and 100%, this content will be available for the next release, for the next big release.
Right. So we don't know exactly the time. That's what I want to make sure that I am communicating to you all. Don't expect this to be available tomorrow, for example. We haven't gotten approval to say exactly when this is going to be available for modders, but we will strive to get it out to you as soon as possible. And we do want these things to be able to be utilized on user-created maps in the future. So that's the best answer we can give you now. I know that you're like, okay, but I want to start now. I know how you guys are. But just please know that we'll update you as soon as we have that information. But of course, like, we want you all to eventually be able to experience some of these things. And I do know, I'm pretty sure that things like the placeable buildings, for example, that are on Silverrun, those will be available in the editor pretty soon. So it may be some of the more technical things that may take a little bit of time to be added, but some of the stuff will be available before other parts too, so keep that in mind. Okay, what should we show? I think, Yevgeny, you have one more video to show, and then Horia, you can still share your screen as well.
Let's emphasize a bit more what Evgeny had to say about the modular system and some things that are already in there and not really can be used by the modders, but can be an inspiration for the content creators.
Okay.
And I'll just quickly share my screen again.
Okay.
Okay. And so Evgeny was saying that these waterfall meshes are modular, right? What we did is basically create almost everything modular around it. For example, these rocks here, even though they look like they're unique in their way, basically it's just one rock, rotated, scaled, moved differently. And just to show the concept, I have one of the rocks, the modular rock opened here in the editor. And basically what we did, we just duplicated the same rock, just flipped it around, give it another rotations and create different patterns. And just by using one simple asset, you can create a lot of diversity and also in a cheap way, right? Because you don't have to create a lot of content, unique content in order to create something that looks nice. And another thing that we did new for these rocks, we did a special shader for them that adds a bit of vegetation on top of the rock. I hope you guys can see on the stream really fast. It's just on top of the rock. It works exactly like the snow when it's snowing. It's just on top. The same with the moss or whatever texture, it will just grow on top. And now to get back to the forest itself, because there was a question about the leaves. There's another question. In what capacity do you use? Maybe Evgeny will answer this question afterwards. In what capacity do you use Houdini? About the forest itself, I saw a lot of questions on some social networks that how we managed to actually do this density, because it's the first time we actually have this many trees in a map, and this map still runs on older gen consoles. So what we had to do to achieve this is basically add a few tricks for each of our trees. One of the tricks would be an additional LOD. Before we have just two LODs that I'm selecting now, LOD 0 and the billboard. I will expand the billboard in a second. And now we have a medium res tree. Maybe I can actually open it here in my, it's a bit easier to see. Basically we have LOD 0, which is the highest res version, which is around 16,000 triangles. Then we have a mid-res version, which is maybe 20-25% of the original tree, which is just 2,600 triangles. And then we have the billboard, which is basically just a, let's say, a screenshot of the tree. And what we do with this mid-res tree, we also cast the shadows from it. We use a proxy shadow mesh from this tree in order to save a lot of polygons. And here I have to say that a lot of people doesn't know this, but the shadow of each object doubles the amount of triangles for each object. So in order to save a lot of triangles, we use the mid-res tree to save on performance. And I think here we can see a bit better if it's visible, like the shadow of this tree. It's not actually the shadow of this high res. Inside it, there's a proxy mesh, which I'll just move it to the side. And this is the lower res version of this tree. Evgeny, if you want to add something on it, on this, or
yeah, well, I'm just will tell that like to audience that LOD, it's level of detail, so it's based on your camera to distance to your camera. It selects what kind of tree to show you. So in a close distance, you will see really well detailed. On a medium range, you will see less detailed, and far away, it would be just like a plane which is looking on you with a texture of tree on it.
Maybe I can simulate a bit here. If I go back from these trees, it's really hard to see, but it's changing the LODs until we get to the billboard, right? And now it's basically these trees in front are the billboards. And to emphasize a bit what a billboard is basically a special shader that always faces the camera. Like it looks like this tree is looking at you all the time. And Evgeny did a nice trick that basically it's not just one image of the tree. How many we have? 6 or 8?
8 images, yes.
8.
It's kind of based on the angle.
It's just the 360 of the tree. And basically
based
it's
on
just
angle,
switching from... Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No worries. I hope it was a bit clearer and people understood what we had to do in order to optimize a bit further to actually be able to have this amount of trees in this map. It's around 20,000 trees to be honest with you guys, we had way more before, but we had to cut like maybe 25-30% to be still able to run it on older gen consoles.
I think that that's
And
still
now,
important to note, though, Horia, because that's been like,
yeah,
one of the first concerns from the community when they saw, of course, that we were going to do a forestry focused map was like, okay, but what about how are the trees going to populate? Because currently in all the pre-existing maps that we have, it's done in a different manner. And so there was a lot of, I think, well-deserved concern from the community, like, is this going to work right? So the fact that the team has been able to achieve something new that I think has been inspired by, of course, you're always looking within the gaming industry and trying to learn new processes of how you can do things, right? So it's really cool that you guys have been able to achieve this. And I think that it's important for people to realize that the technology and the way that the trees are loaded is completely different on this map, and that's what makes it possible to have this crazy amount of trees that you wouldn't been able to have in the past.
exactly. That's exactly what we enabled to have this map. Basically, there were a lot of tests, a lot of going back and forward, but I think we actually managed for the first time to make a forest look like a forest, like really, really dense and diverse.
Right. That's really cool.
And
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah,
if
go
can you
on.
please?
I can answer the question about Houdini, basically, if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Well, we use Houdini, a lot of Houdini for prototyping stuff. So, and sometimes for content creation, like this, for example, with waterfalls and creeks. But to be honest, I'm not sure. For the community, it's not actually, maybe only for flow maps, but as far as I know, for Blender should be some also flow map tool as well, for 3D Max as well. So this is flow map tool, should be some kind of flow map. It's really quite known in game development. It's not nothing, it's not brand new something. So it's not.
Okay.
So if it was asked in context of Greek creeks, so it probably Houdini it's only one of the options. But if it was asked in overall generic context, yes, we use it, but a lot of mainly for prototyping.
Okay.
Yes, I can say.
Thank you for the
yes,
answer.
but not
Hopefully- Ola, let us know if that doesn't answer your question, and we'll try to get it answered. And thank you, everyone, for the questions. Also, I want to interrupt and just say real quick, don't forget about the giveaway links that are going around on Twitch and YouTube. We are giving away a couple of copies of Platinum, and if you win, you get to choose like what platform, and if you already have the base game of 22 then and you only need the expansion, let us know. You can also choose to get the Platinum edition in case you don't have the base game, or if you win and you want to give the game to a friend so they can join you. Maybe you already have Platinum pre-ordered or the year one season pass, so you'll have the map in the base game, but your friend doesn't. Whatever you want to do, when you go to sign up on the link, you choose the version and the platform that you want before you can get to the rest of the entry options on Gleam, and that'll be running all weekend long, so that people that are not able to join us live will be able to go back and watch the video throughout the entire weekend in the lead up to launch, and you'll receive your gift if you win on launch day on Tuesday, if you do win. So definitely go enter that. Okay, guys, we still have the shader video. Evgeny, do you want to show this? Do you have some stuff that you'd like to share about
well,
this video?
it might be, I don't know, it might be a bit technical, but we can try at least. I don't know. I don't know, because like shader itself, it's really kind of a complicated concept. Well, if you know it, it's not, but if somebody doesn't know it, it might be sounds a bit complicated.
Oh, okay. So
we
let
can
me interrupt you real quick, because Ola, who asked
Okay.
the Houdini question originally, has expanded on it. In Twitch chat, he says, "Thanks for replying about Houdini. I'm using it to make flow maps, roads, and deform the terrain based on the roads. So I bring
Wow,
DEM in, process roads, and DEM export. Would love to see Houdini more closely tied to the production of maps, unless Giant's editor is thoroughly updated." So
Well, I can answer on this question. Well, I was basically new version of Houdini, which should or not Houdini, of our editor with the next game, which will have some nice features. I would say this. So,
Okay.
Yeah, but I can
yes.
just a
Yes.
small thing here. Basically, Evgeny used Houdini for this map to basically place all the trees
Okay.
and paint all the textures. So it was used quite heavily on this map.
Okay.
Yes. Like
And what
like
Evgeny wants
pre-placement.
to
Yeah,
what
yeah,
Evgeny wants to
continue, go
say
on.
is basically that probably some of these features that this procedural placement Houdini now has, maybe they'll be available in the editor
Okay.
in the future.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've seen comments, of course, like you guys are creating things for maps and maps specifically. Earlier, when we were setting up for the stream, I saw people walking behind Hori at our Swiss office. Someone like Florian, who worked on Elm Creek. You saw him during the FarmCon videos. So, like, I know that our modders are always asking for more, and we've seen it in chat, like more information. More tutorials available because it might be complicated for them to figure out different things. So maybe that's something for us to think about going forward too. It's cool, like from my perspective, like to have all of this tech eventually available to modders of our game. But if we can find a way as well to make the information a little bit easier for them to access and know exactly what they're dealing with, that would be good too. That's something for us as a company to think about going forward as well. I think, Evgeny, because we have still about 18 minutes of our planned time, that we should show the
Okay.
shader video, because I think that like it like you said, it's pretty technical, but I have seen a lot of modders and map makers in chat that would be, I think, interested in seeing this. So I
Okay,
say let's
okay,
go
okay.
for it.
Only, yeah, Paul, please, can you at the beginning put it at the beginning and make a pause? Yes, okay. So, first of all, I will try to explain what shader means. Basically, in simple set, it's a program which executed on a graphics card, but in our terms, from the perspective of our game, you can say it's a program which is run by game from the game on a graphics card. So we basically, game itself is placing object in 3D, doing something, and after that, this whole 3D is sent into shader. And there is a vertex shader and pixel shader. So there is different, like one which is operates on vertices. After that, it's kind of transferred into pixels. It's called rasterizing. So it's kind of, and after that, there is another shader which does some stuff based on pixels. So, and in this video, I kind of like briefly mostly touched like what is vertex shader and how it's actually stored. So like if you have a cube in 3D, for example, you have some data about this cube. Usually it's points and triangles. And in this video, I will show what does it mean here and how it's actually rendered and how you actually can operate it in a shader. Okay, can we start playing this video, please?
Definitely. It's playing now.
Yeah, okay.
Might take a minute to
Okay.
switch.
Okay. So please pause. Okay, so basically, like minimum concept which we need, there is a vertex. This vertex has normal, and this vertex also has texture coordinate. It's not necessary, but it's kind of bare minimum. Texture coordinate, it's basically concept where your texture is assigned on the cube. It's kind of stretch. If you can think it about like making from the paper, it's like a paper, and after that you fold it into 3D. And if you paint something on this paper, it's just like a texture. So it's a kind of okay. Can we play the video again?
Of course.
And yeah, so it's how you see it in Maya. But for rendering, it's different. For rendering, you have triangle with indexes 0, 1, 2, for example. And based on it, it's drawing, okay, now this triangle is looking on me, 0, 1, 2. But if you have 0, 2, 1, like next one, or 0, 1, 2 in the other direction, it would be normal of this. You would not see this triangle. It would be looking into the other point. And every single point actually has minimum like position, normal, and texture coordinate. So it like point number 1 or 0, number 1, and number 2. And if you're kind of advanced user, you can set export object in our editor as a text, and you can make export with a cube, and you will see this. So it's like vertex 0, vertex 1, vertex 2, and at the end it was a definition of triangle. So basically 0, 1, 2. This is kind of a how. Can you pause here? Yeah, Kermit. Okay. Basically, and this is like really simple vertex shader. It's just saying, okay, take all position, and also like another concept of shader itself. It doesn't like we have this before. We have this 0, 1, 2, 3 index, but in shader he doesn't know about indexes. He just okay, I have all vertices and I can move them by 2 units up, for example, or like in this code, all vertices which is above 0 by y coordinate, move them on 2 units up. So this is like, okay, so everything which was above 0 was moved up. So, okay, so it's kind of, when you program this kind of shader, you kind of operate in a abstractive way. So you like, okay, position of the vertex, move it. Can you play video again? Okay, so yeah, this was like all if position of the vertex, and this is like the same but added sinus to it, like move vertices which is above 0 based on sinus. Can you pause here? And this is another concept. This is transformation. So basically, when you in the editor move this somewhere, like transform, rotate, and scale, it's transforming the object. But if we apply our shader in this implementation of shader, it was applied locally. So if you play the video, Kermit, again, it will move vertices locally to this transformation. So all of these logics, and this is like simple example of applying this gradient on a camera vector. So what you see. So this is example of pixel shader. So if you rotate, like I quickly hug this into it. So it's kind of not so easy topic, but at the end, it's you can think of it's operating on a 3D mesh or on a vertex level with vertices, or on a pixel level when it's rendered in the pixels, and after that you can do with something with pixels. So yeah, this is actually shader. So it's a program which is executed inside of your program on a graphics card. See, yes. So if it makes sense,
Kermit, we cannot hear you. Sorry.
Okay. Still cannot hear you.
There we go. That would help.
Okay.
My mind was so blown by what you said that I completely lost what I was doing over here. My brain exploded a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry for it. It's a bit technical. Yeah.
No, trust me. There's people in chat right now who are like, "Oh man, that's amazing!" Like people have learned stuff from that, right? My brain exploded, and I'm sure there's others like me too. But that's the great thing about our community is there is definitely a mix of people that understand what you've said, and others who are like, I just love how the water looks, man. The water looks really cool now. So,
okay, good.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Horia mentioned earlier. We want this feedback from you all because we would like to do more of these types of streams in the future. Like previously, you've seen me do the community spotlight streams, which will be coming back at some point as well. But we want to do more of like these developer streams too, putting a spotlight on people like Horia and Yevgeny. Maybe it'll be just them more in the future. Maybe we can get other people to join in as well. But it's really cool, I think, from my perspective, being on the community team, to get this information out to the community, because there are people who are very like keen to learn more, or just those like myself who want to see that the game is progressing forward, right? And if we're not just us as a team, us as a company. Like 22 was our most successful game so far, but we haven't stopped this whole last year since it came out. Like the work has been going on Platinum for a while now, and it's another leap forward for the game, being just an expansion pack for 22. So just imagine in the future, like as things continue to progress forward, there's going to be some really cool things that we could share again in the future that our team has achieved. So I think it's really cool. Horia, do you have anything else that you would like to show? If not, we can start grabbing some questions from our chats on Twitch and YouTube and see if we can get them answered.
All right, maybe I will just quickly show one of the construction projects, like a bit more
Yeah, cool.
under the hood, what is happening. The time is flying. I just realized that we had so much stuff that went to show, but time is really flying.
These streams are like that. Like you think 1 minute it starts and then the next minute it's almost over. But we can go over slightly. That's okay, as long as you guys are
just slightly, because there were so many questions about the construction stuff, and basically we just want to show a bit what we did, why we wanted to extend this concept. And as you guys know already from some videos, is that when you bring products to the boatyard, sailing yacht will start to be built, and this will have some sort of animation, shader-based animation, that basically will unhide some of the elements of the boat one by one. Just deleted this by mistake. 1 second. Hide, okay, and hide this. And when they are playing via script the animation, basically elements one by one starts popping out. And why we did this? Because there were some questions over Facebook and other social media platforms, is that to give a purpose to the player to actually do something with the products he does. Again, it's not mandatory to do this. People who wants to just sell the trees, they can sell it directly at the sawmill. But people who wants to build something with their products, now they have a possibility to extend this. Basically, it's a natural extension of the product pipeline that we already have in place. It's just the next step. Again, if you just want to create wood beams and wood planks, you can just create them, go to a shop, sell them, and that's it. And now we have two concepts. Is this yacht that will be a loopable, so you can do as many yachts as you can, and the other one is the roller coaster, which you can build just once. But you'll get something that I cannot talk about it. You'll get some sort of bonus that probably will make people really happy. And with this, I found recently, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Evgeny, if you want to add something else about the ID shader, how he actually hides, it's too technical actually too.
Well, basically, I can tell what happens under the hood. So we kind of introduce new concept. Well, it's not new in terms, it's in-game development, it's well known, but it's new for us. We introduce some new concept, which is kind of combining. If you have one separated, you can combine it into mesh when it's exported, but it will save index of each piece into mesh itself. And after that, in a shader, I can read this index and do something with it. So basically, all our new effect system and everything was done with this kind of tech. So so it's kind of in the Unreal Engine, it's actually done with UV set. So you kind of collapse your UVs into one single point. But we implemented it a bit differently, so it's supported like natively from our format. So we don't need to do this tricks anymore. So so let's say it's at the end this mesh combined into one piece. So for rendering, it doesn't matter. It's the same. It renders all in once. But for me in shader later on, it matters because I can find the difference between another piece and this piece. I know exactly. So
to put it simple, basically this is a cheap way of doing animations.
Yes.
Okay. Cheap in terms of performance, basically.
Yeah, because you don't actually involve any CPU calculation, so it's really fully on GPU. So it's all done by shader. So So
Okay.
if it's everything done by shader, it means CPU is already did something before, so it's only on GPU. And usually CPU is kind of bottleneck, so it's problem. So it's like, I need to do this and this, and GPU like, I'm waiting for you to do it.
So
So GPU
let
is
me
faster.
interject here and say, like, of course, I'm interacting with the community as a daily basis as a community coordinator for Giants, myself and Lars and Chalky as well. So what we've seen a lot in regards to the construction project specifically is there's a lot of people that are excited for them. There's also been comments like, what does this have to do with farming? And I can say, like, think of Farming Simulator and this map, specifically Silverrun. We want to create and give you an environment that you can enjoy spending a lot of time in. So these construction projects are something that we've added as a gameplay element to both be fun and also give you a reason to use all of the new machines that are included in Platinum and really immerse yourself within the map. So the roller coaster, for example, or the boatyard, they're specifically, part of this environment, part of this town that you are playing in the map. So it gives you a reason to keep playing, to keep cutting down trees, to replant the trees, to deliver all of your materials to the production chains and keep them going. So I think that that is the goal with these. And I think it's really cool because, a lot of the times in the past, before 22, before we added production chains, for me as a player of the game, I would do the same 3 or 4 things within Farming Simulator over and over, right? I would plant the same crop. So, for example, when I first started playing the game several years ago, I would really just plant soybean, harvest it, and then get it ready to, plant it and have it ready to be harvested again. And my friends and I would just repeat that process over and over and over. And I had a lot of fun doing it. But with 22 and production chains added, I all of a sudden found myself spending more time and slowing things down, doing more steps of the process, and also with the production chains, taking my goods to the different chains and keeping things going. So this is a real nice expansion in my eyes for production chains, because not only are you creating products now at the production buildings, but you're also taking those products and taking them even further and restoring an iconic roller coaster for your town, for example, or building boats that then you can make money from as well. Horia, do you want to talk a little bit about as well, like the roller coaster, when you complete it, it's not like it just doesn't have a use once you get it done building, right?
Well, the obvious use, which was already mentioned in the blog, I think, is that you can actually ride it.
Right.
And I think what wasn't mentioned about the ride is the fact that you can actually ride it with all of your friends. So 16 persons can join the,
What?
the ride.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
All right.
So,
So the first one
fun.
of you that gets it built. So if you don't use like a money cheat, or you don't speed things up, this is going to take you several years to finish. So
Yes, for one person it will take him a lot of time. But if
Right.
multiple persons are helping with this, it will be built faster, of course, and everyone will get the same bonus at the end. That I can't talk about it. But that's important to know, that everyone will get the same bonus, even if there are 16 players on the server. Everyone will get the same bonus. So there will not be a fight who finishes the roller coaster or who owns the roller coaster.
Right. And that was actually a question that was asked from the community recently. Like,
Yes.
okay, how does it work on a server with a bunch of people playing? Like, are we working on it together? Like, who gets credit for it? So that's a good bit of information too. But yeah, putting the challenge out there to the community, the first one of you that gets this built, I want an invite to ride along with you on your roller coaster, because this is going to be cool. All right, guys.
Nice.
Maybe we can look at chat a little bit now, and see like if we have any good questions that we can pull from here. So someone said, I can answer this question because we've talked about it a little bit internally already. I don't remember who it was now. It's disappeared. But a bit ago, someone asked if the construction projects like the boatyard and the roller coaster means that in the future we can see things like timber projects, buildable houses and buildings and things like that. And while we don't have like any specifics, I don't believe to share on that. Like we do always say like now that could technically be possible. So you never know like going forward what will be possible now. I think that these construction projects being in the game is just really the beginning of what could be done with them. Keep in mind, though, like I mentioned earlier, that the placeable production chain buildings from Silverrun will be available to be put onto other maps. However, and this is if you own Platinum, of course, but remember that the construction projects like the boatyard and the roller coaster are specifically made for Silverrun Forest only. So they won't work in that similar way where you can just place them down. They're already included with Silverrun and specifically set up for those. But who knows in the future? Okay, so. And these may or may not be questions you guys can answer. So if you can't answer them, fine, because I know that it's not just like this map and this expansion was created just by these guys, right? We have our 3D like vehicle artist and Brno in our Czech Republic office have done a lot of the vehicles, if I'm correct, right, Horia? Yeah.
Yes,
So like
that's correct.
it's a collaboration as always with the game. But so there's a question about the rock breaking. Can you guys answer any questions about that, or is that something out of your realm?
Actually, Evgeny created the effect for the rock. Maybe he can talk about.
So the question is, will rock smashing feature be available in the future for other maps, for like decorative rocks, or is it used on specific types of rocks?
I can
well,
actually answer this.
Go ahead.
Just really fast. I'll just answer it that for now this is available just for this map.
Okay.
And the construction kind of gameplay plus Destruct's new gameplay, we expect the feedback from the people also. If it makes sense actually to extend these features to other maps, right, in the future. If they don't like it or it's like, why did you guys edit this? It doesn't make any sense. So it's important that we gather the feedback on both the construction gameplay and on Destruct's destruction in order to actually make sense to continue them.
Okay. Thank you. Evgeny, do you want to talk a little bit about the
effect itself?
Yeah, the effect itself. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's at the moment it's implemented like with pre-placed rocks which you destroy and they disappear basically. So it's not like every single rock can be destroyed. It's only specific rocks can be destroyed.
Okay.
But like I would say this, technically you can remove the trees, destroy the rocks, and make a field out of it.
Right.
So basically, it's doable. So you can transform this map into field areas,
right?
And make fields.
That's something I've been trying to get across to the community as well, because there are a few arable crop fields from the start, but the focus of Silverrun is on forestry. But say, for example, like Yevgeny just mentioned, and we've been talking about the construction projects. Say that you get the roller coaster done and you're like, what now? You've cleared out a large area of forest to get this project done. Well, now if you want to break these rocks up, like you just mentioned, and then get a plow and plow some more fields, then you can completely transform this map and then turn it into your own, custom playground, basically, and continue on doing the normal farming simulator type of arable farming things that you're used to from the past as well. So that's a good point to make.
Yes, it was our main intention. The forest is not actually stick to the forest. It's like starts with the forest, but you can transform it to something else. So it's like,
cool.
Yeah, creeks probably would not be touchable, but everything else in between, yes.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Let me look for some more questions in chat. We'll go only for about 10 more minutes, guys, because it's, 8 p.m. for you guys over in Europe. Thanks for joining us in your evening time to take part in this.
No worries.
So let's see. Any good questions out here? Anybody? Okay, let's see. I'm going back through. Feel
I
free
can
to.
answer one question
Okay.
regarding the log physics because probably a lot of guys want to know this.
Okay.
So Kaufman asked, did the log physics receive an upgrade? And yes, so the new trees received an upgrade because now it's possible for us to create custom collisions for them.
Okay.
And from my point of view, it's way better. And this system will be expanded in the future. But this is really important for people who understand that custom collisions are extremely important for trees. And we can do this now. We can
Cool.
hugely improve the physics of the logs.
Actually, I saw a question that's related to that earlier, and maybe you can expand on it. It was asking if like the space between logs has been changed at all. Maybe that's part of the new collisions, like because we announced, of course, these new like storage containers for logs, right? You can move them with the wheel loader, put them on the train if you want. So I think there's been
Yeah.
some questions about like if it will be the way that it used to exist, is going to be hard to get these logs to fit into the trailer. Has there been any changes to like the spacing between them?
That's exactly what custom collision enables you to do a collision that fits exactly the shape and size of the tree.
Okay, cool.
Before it was automatically generated, and because it was automatically generated, it couldn't really fit the shape of the tree because it's a bit more complex topic here because you have to use just convex collisions, but now it's quite easy to do these custom ones and to fit the exact shape
Cool.
and yeah, of the tree.
I think that's a perfect answer to their question for sure. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? We'll pick some of them out. We can't pick them all out. You need the DLC to have the winch working with anybody's mods? Anything that is existing tech wise, you're gonna have to have it. We don't know. We've already mentioned earlier about like the capabilities for modding, some of the more technical things that are being added in Silverrun. We don't know exactly when they'll be available to modders, but we hope to have that information soon. And of course, want to see eventually the tools in your hands to be able to create things with this new tech. Can we plant the new tree types on all maps? That's actually a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Yes, they can.
So with the equipment already, like as long as you have the platinum expansion, you get the equipment available on all maps, right? So that's
Yes.
how this is going to work, I would assume.
Exactly, and there is a special machine. I forgot his name, and then
Yeah, that thing's
and
crazy. Up to
bas-
240 saplings at one time. This
exactly,
machine.
exactly.
Yeah, it's so cool
And
looking.
that machine basically can plant all the existing trees in all maps, not just the DLC.
Okay.
All trees that we have.
Right.
I don't know how many we have, but we have a lot.
Yeah, we have more now, right? So as long as you
Yeah.
have the platinum expansion installed, you could, for example, go to Elm Creek or any other map that you want and be able to use this equipment. I believe that like it's an Volvo loader that then you connect this to. So I've seen it. It looks cool. I don't remember the exact name either. Will the new water animations be added to existing maps? I don't think existing, right? Like this is something brand new, so we're not going to go back and add it. But maybe in the future, new maps you'll see it, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, should be.
Cool. Can the new productions be placed on other maps? Yes, we answered that one a bit earlier. The buildings themselves, so the production chain, not the construction projects, they're going to be included in the placeable under the build mode. You'll be able to place those down on other maps, but the construction projects like the roller coaster and the boatyard, no. Okay.
Just one mention here about the production chain that the roller coaster and the boat yard, they are fixed in this map, in the forestry map. They're not even placeables. They're more like factories where you have to bring certain products in order to do something.
Right.
So there is a confusion now on the internet. This boat yard is a placeable or not, or
Right.
About the roller coaster. But no, they are fixed in this map. They are special for this map. And again, if people actually enjoy it, we can extend it in the future.
Cool. Will all the details like the leaves falling around the trees and puddles forming when it rains be a feature on all maps in the future?
Yes.
Perfect. There's a question about the redwood trees, right? From
Yeah.
what the information that's been put out is these are trees that need to be left alone on the map. Can you kind of expand a little bit more on if that's the case? There was a question about what you do with
What
these
does
trees. Yeah,
what
so
does he mean by left alone?
you can't harvest the redwood trees, right? Or can you?
You can actually.
From your knowledge, okay. But I think this is I think what's confused people. It mentioned in the forestry missions blog that when you're doing a forestry mission, you're supposed to leave the redwoods alone, and you're cutting deadwood trees down in the missions. But outside of these missions, from what you just said, you can cut down any tree you want.
Yes, exactly. And
So
but just one small thing about the Sequoia. Of course, we all know that in real life you cannot do this. They're protected, right, by some
right,
laws, by some
right,
really
correct.
good laws, and they're not easy to handle, right? It's like I think one trunk is about 24 to 30 tons.
Yeah, they're huge.
So whoever wants to cut them, they have to handle them somehow. And yeah, I wish them good luck.
There you go. There you have it. So
Nice.
maybe from that advice, I would recommend that if you want to plow up the land and create arable crop fields, that you work around these gentle giant trees that are protected in real life. Remember, of course, it is a video game, so do what you want with it. But Horia just warned you all. Good luck if you do it. Basically, okay. Are there new types of wild animals on Silverrun? We've not really seen any.
No, not for now.
Right. Okay, cool. Thanks for that answer. I think that we should probably start wrapping up now, everyone. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you to Horia and Yevgeny for joining me and explaining all of this stuff to us. It's been really awesome. Don't forget to go enter the giveaway. It's going around in chat. You can type in !giveaway to get it posted in Twitch chat. I know that, thank you, Hendrik, helping us out in YouTube to make sure it gets put in there. So this will run until Sunday, I believe. I don't remember what the end time I set up was, but you still have time to go enter. But if you're here now, go enter it. If you're watching this later and it's still the weekend before launch, you can go enter it as well, as long as it says it's still running. And choose the version and the platform of the Platinum Expansion or Edition that you want to receive if you were to win. And then once you do those two questions, you can then go and follow our YouTube and Twitch and things like that to get more entries into the giveaway. We'll send the gifts out to those that win after launch day next week. Horia, Yevgeny, you guys have been working on this map for so long. How excited are you now for Tuesday to be here and see how the community is going to perceive it?
Super excited. I'm waiting for the feedback, to be honest. And please, again, guys, any feedback that you have, just post it somewhere. And I can say for sure that someone will read your feedback.
Whether it's the community team or, like, I know Horia even has been looking recently at feedback himself. Like, of course, we as the community team will directly interact with you all on Discord and Facebook and Twitter and all the other places that you can post feedback. But definitely give us that feedback. We're excited to receive it, because these guys and so many others have poured their heart and souls into Silverrun Forest and the Platinum Expansion. And the only way that they know how much you're enjoying it is to let them know. Of course, do remember to do it in a constructive manner. Even if you don't like something, be polite about it. Say, okay, this wasn't for me, guys. I don't understand this. Because, like Horia mentioned earlier, about the rock breaking and some of the more construction elements, if the feedback starts to be overwhelmingly like, about a certain feature, then we know going forward that we need to go in a different direction. But if the community is receiving it well and you all are having a lot of fun, then we can expand and do things more in this direction in the future. So definitely send us that feedback on all our channels. Starting with you, Yevgeny, any parting words for the people, or you want to just say goodbye to them?
Yeah, probably yes. Enjoy the game, and yeah. Goodbye.
See you next time.
Thank you.
All right, Horia.
See you next time. Yeah, it's a good. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for your time with us, and yeah, looking forward for the next sessions. We hope we do more.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it as well, guys, and I can't wait to get stuck in on some of the Platinum expansion myself as well. Being a fan of the game, it's definitely a big leap forward, and I'm excited to see some of the cool stuff that you all have been able to achieve. For those of you that are wondering when more streams are coming, of course, like for me, Thanksgiving is just a couple of weeks away, so I'll be on holiday that week, and then we've got Christmas time coming up. But yes, I saw a question earlier in chat, like, is there a year 2 season pass? Well, we called it year 1 for a reason. So beyond Platinum, yeah, there's probably going to be more stuff for you, but don't really expect a whole lot in between now and the new year, because there'll be just so much time off for people here and there with the holidays and such, and things like that. Streams, though, I'm going to have a meeting either like tomorrow or next week about the future of how we're going to create more streams for you all. So expect maybe more things like this, more community spotlights coming back, maybe some other types of content too. Now that the stream studio is set up in the US office, we'll see how the streams go in the future. So yeah, that'll be it from us for now. Thanks again, Hori and Yevgeny. Thanks everyone in chat for joining us.
Thanks
See you
also.
next time.
Yeah.
Keep being awesome, everyone.
Thanks a
Until
lot.
we see you again. Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.